So as you know, again, the name of our call is the Power Six. And what we do on this call is encourage each other and provide insight on strategies that's going to help us maximize the compensation plan. So the whole vision of this call is a simple, duplicatable system of enrolling 6 partners in order to maximize the binary plan and matching bonuses. So as you know, we're about to embark upon a new compensation plan, Compensation 2.0. And so there may be a different version of the Power Six coming out pretty soon. Those of you who know the existing Power Six, I know you're really excited about. All of us were and still are. But I've got to wait until this whole presentation is done this Saturday so that I will know how to come up with a strategy that's more simple, because as we go through it, you're going to see how detailed this compensation plan is, and it may be a little overwhelming for some people because we do get paid 9 different ways. Now, so the name of our call again is called Maximize the Moment. And what I want to do right now, I'm going to stop my video and I want to read to you a couple of things out of this book called Maximize the Moment. I don't know if you ever heard of it before, but it's by T.D. Jakes. It's a powerful book. And there's a couple of things I want to share with you because it's going to help you wrap your head around where we're going to go with this call. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop my video and start reading. And so I'm just going to read it because it's just so much. For example, in this book, he's talking about, and we're going to get to the comp plan, don't worry. He's saying, although it's not an easy decision to make, there are usually some signals you will notice that forecast the need to choose the direction of your associations. While it is impossible to survive without partnerships, it is also impossible to partner with people who do not share the same intensity and the same objectives. Notice on this call, our goal is to share the same intensity and the same objectives, okay? Notice that both are needed. Intensity focuses on how badly we want it, while objectives focus on the specificity of what we want. You know, many times we want this business so bad, but yet the people that are that we brought on board or within our team, they don't seem to want it as badly, and therefore it becomes a little frustrating. So I'm gonna keep reading, and it says, first, the lack of intensity is frustrating when a very forward, intense person is tied to someone who is less driven and more complacent. It's like trying to dance the Macarena with someone who only wants to waltz. You have one tempo for life while your partner has another. When tempos are not compatible, your energies are divided because you spend all of your much needed effort trying to motivate the partner to follow your lead and pick up the pace. You will lose accomplishment eventually because you are wasting time and expecting them to do something that they are not. So let me just review just a little bit about what he just said. You know, that's why we started this call, and it was pretty strict, but the qualification, it was a qualification to even get on this call at first. And we kind of relaxed those qualifications. But the thing is, most people who get on this call, they really, really want it. But some of the things we talked about is finding like-minded people. That is one thing we've talked about many, many times. And as we go through this new enhanced compensation plan, you're going to see why all of this is important. It's very important that I review this so that we can all be on the same page. And let me continue. He goes on to say that it is lethal when you are surrounded by people who have an attitude of indifference about the goal that you have laid down to attain in your life. There are some issues that can be corrected through teaching and leadership, but you cannot teach someone to care. The person who does not have the passion for your purpose is in the wrong place. They will destroy the workplace, ruin your productivity, and hinder the rhythm of your company with complaining and murmuring. And murmuring. It goes on to say, never walk with anyone, anywhere, who has no passion for the thing you are going to do together. All right, so you keep going. So hopefully that mindset is going to carry us through this presentation, okay? Now, so let's talk about alignment. There is power when you are aligned. It's going to be very important that all of us are in alignment where we're going with this. So the power of alignment, let me read this to you. The alignment refers to the degree to which a team's goals, values, and actions are in sync with the organization's mission and strategic objectives. Let me just say this, David Schmidt, from the top all the way down, I promise you, if you know David Schmidt, if you've been in this company over a year, you know his heart, and everything that he does is genuine. It is to empower us, it is to bless us. And I use that word bless very emphatically because that is the kind of heart he has. When alignment is achieved, every team member understands their role and how their contributions drive the larger organization's goals. This unified direction ensures that efforts are not wasted on conflicting or redundant tasks, leading to greater efficiency and effectiveness. Let me just elaborate on conflicting, for example. I don't know how these scratches got on my screen. Not plugging, for example, this is just conflicting. Not plugging into the team's goals and objectives, doing it our way, doing things that are not duplicatable. And, you know, even when we say things that are negative, you know, just negative things, and it's like, well, I'm not going to do that, or I don't like the fact that they're doing that, whatever. You know, we do have, if everybody's on the same page, things are going to run a lot smoother. Redundant tasks. I'm going to give you a quick example because this is important in the system of the Power Six. Reminding team members that their authorship is due, mainly to help you or them maintain a rank. Because a lot of times we point it out to them because it's making us not hit our rank, and definitely not allowing them to maintain their rank, or to avoid their points being flushed. You guys, this is basic. You know, this is just basic information that is taught when you first come in. If you're saying you want to earn money, there's no excuse for you not to be on authorship. Same behavior with regards to registering for events. You know, so many people are in the situation, and I'm being honest with you, it is getting kind of annoying when people are calling me, how do I get my ticket? When we've been talking about it forever, go to thisisitconvention.com, or why are we seeing this going on? These are some of the things that their message, the calls and texts that I get are redundant. And it's like, it's because people aren't plugged in. But with regard to the authorship, that is very annoying. And I'm just saying this to say, and I don't mean to offend anyone, but there are teams out there where people are making, you know, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 a week. And they're not, and I know for a fact because I've talked to them, they're not even working as hard as we are, but yet they're flying because they do some of the basic stuff that everybody should do. Not only do they stay on their authorship, that's like clockwork, but many people on their team are doing the same thing. And so these are the kinds of things that's going to keep us from moving forward. You know, I'm having conversations with people, and why are we not making money? It's some things are basic, okay? Some things, yes, we do have a different culture, but certain things are basic, and it needs to be talking about alignment. All of us need to be doing the same things. So now, you guys, I want to introduce you to you all LifeWave Compensation Plan 2.0. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to have to stop my video because I want to get to the compensation plan. Okay, because I want you to understand all these things I've said is just encourage you. You know, I don't mean to be abrasive or anything like that, but we have got to get in sync. We've got to eliminate little things that are holding us back. So the first thing I want to point out in this, I'm not going to have time to cover everything, but certain things are important, and it's going to be basic to every single person. 9 ways we get paid, you guys. So for example, we're not going to have, let me see if I can make this bigger. We're not going to have the manager, director, senior director. We're not going to have that anymore. It's going to be 1, 2, and 3-star manager, 1, 2, and 3-star director, 1, 2, and 3-star executive, and 1-star and 2 and 3-star presidential. Now, you should have got an email yesterday from the company, and I'm not sure if you've had a chance to review it or not, but if you haven't, you can review that, you know, after I'm sharing this with you. But what I want to point out, you know how in the past, the strategy or the comp plan said, go to get to manager, get two at least cores on your left and 2 on your right. We're not going to have structure like that anymore. Some people are so glad about this because they got all these people they're trying to help or trying to get somebody to manager or director, and they got to be in a certain place and all that kind of stuff. And it begins to be frustrating. So what the company has done is they have revised this so that we are really only relying on volume. For example, to get to be a 3-star manager, as you can see here, now it says 2,500 points, but it's not saying you got to have 4 cores. It's not any of that. All it's relying on is volume, but you do have to have this whole compensation plan is going to be based on you having 3 legs once you get up to this 1-star director level. And they're going to explain all of this. You must go to the virtual link that you got from the company to register for the Saturday training. They're going to break all this down. What I want to do right now is prepare your mind so when they go through it, they may not be going slow enough for you to catch everything, but I want you to understand what all this means. So, and so notice when you get to be a 1-star director, 50% of your volume must come, the maximum rather, of 50% maximum can come from 1 leg. Let's say you got 5,000 in volume and somebody on your team has 4,000, but your total is 5,000. Well, you know, 4,000 is like 80% of your total volume. So you can't count 1,500 points of that person's volume. You can only count 2,500 because some people are where they are because of people under them pushing them up. But what they want to do is balance the effort. They don't want you to get to a rank just because somebody pushed you up. They want you to have earned it. And there are people in this company, just to let you know, that are managers, according to Steve Merritt, according to the SPD call, that are making $2 million a year as a manager. And that's because they came in so early, but yet their binary on both sides is so much volume that they're making that kind of money. But yet the reason they're not director is because they don't have the structure in place. So you see how that is not fair in a way. And the company doesn't want to pay somebody $2 million when they're not even a director. And so this is one of the reasons that you see that you're not relying on how many, but more so the balance of your legs. And so if you go down through here, you're going to see it's now all the way to presidential, 3-star presidential with $5 million in volume or higher. Okay. Now, if for some reason you have a question about anything as we go along, do not hesitate to unmute yourself and ask the question. So I'm just going through here. Now, this part right here, the customer earnings, is what I'm very, very excited about. And I think you'll be excited about it too. You know that we have retail customers and we have preferred customers. Right now, everything is going to be the same. You know, when you get a retail customer, you make $40 or $50 or whatever, depending on what they purchase. And then the preferred customer, if they, get a X39, you're going to make $20. All of that is going to remain the same. But let me tell you what is not going to remain the same. It's called the customer earnings bonus. So watch this. And if you have a piece of paper, please write this down. So I'm just going to give an example. Right now, let's say, okay, let me back up a minute. Many of us have in the past have encouraged people to say, let's just pay the $25 and get you into the binary. Because if you ever decide that you want to make money, you would have accumulated some volume. That's what we used to do, right? Now, I'm not saying that everybody did that, but many of us did that. To me, based on the new comp plan, it's going to be just as advantageous if they were a preferred customer for you. It may be more advantageous for you, not so much for them. So when they're a preferred customer, so let's just say, as you start enrolling people and somebody said, can I just try it? And then what we want you to do, because this is the game plan, like I said, take notes. We want you to encourage them to adopt the idea of staying on this patch for 6 months or more, 6 months or longer, because, if they're 60, they need to be on the 6 months anyway, but hopefully they'll stay on it. As a preferred customer, if they pay the $20 annual fee and they're staying on this patch every month, they're going to get free product every single month. Like if they get an X39, they may get a 10 it's a little envelope with 10 glutathiones in it or 10 eons. You see what I'm saying? They're going to give some free product away every month. So that's really an incentive for that person to be a preferred customer. And as long as they're active, they'll be getting these free products. So now you have some ammunition, you have something to work with, but let me show you how you're going to be rewarded. So you can see over time, as you're talking to people, many of them don't even, you spend a lot of time because you're trying to close them as a core or higher. So let's just say they came in and you got 20 customers. So write this down. Now, remember, right now, if you had 20 customers, you're still going to get the $20 per month. So already you're earning $400 every month. Okay. Just because they're preferred customers. Now, remember I told you the volume, or I didn't tell you this, but I'm going to tell you now. It used to be 43 points associated with a X39 when you were, in the current plan. We only got 43 points per X39 customer. In the new plan, it's not going to be that way anymore. You're going to get the full value as if they were in the binary. So that's 77 points that we get for every customer. No longer 43, but 77 points. So 20 times 77 is 1,540 BV, business volume. Now, look at this chart right here. It says, if your total customer the volume from the customer is 300 to 599, you're going to get 5%. If your total volume is between 600 and 1199, you're going to get 10%. If it's 1,200 points or higher, you're going to get 20%. So now we just showed you that your total volume is 1,540, right? So that's going to put you in this category of getting 20%. What is 20% of 1,540? It's $308. So now when you used to get $400 per month, now you're going to get $708, the 400 plus the 308. Somebody ought to get excited about that. Okay. Somebody ought to get excited that you're telling me over time, I've accumulated 20 customers. And as long as those 20 customers stay active, I'm going to make $708 per month. I'm excited. Okay. And so depending on the volume that you have, that's going to determine the percentage. So if it was less than that, 10% of 1,540 would be $154. So do you see that? Now, one thing it is telling you is that depending on the week, let's say, for example, in this scenario, this lady has 1,000 points. She has 5 customers that do 200 each. So let's say 2 of them place their order one week. It runs during the same week, and then the next week, 2 more people's order run. Maybe the next week, 1 person's order run. That's 1,000 because they each has 200. So the week that their orders are running, that's when you're gonna get paid. So if she had 2, in this scenario, she had 2 customers with 200 that are spending $200, and so that's 400 total times. That's where this is falling. We already know she has 1,000, right? Remember, it said 1,000 points because she had 5 customers, each spending 200 in qualifying volume. That's 1,000. So we already know that she's falling into this 10% category. What this is saying is depending on the week that it runs. So this week she'll just get paid for 2 customers because 2 people's orders run. So now she's making 400 times the 10% or $40. That's all that means. Okay. So don't look into it any further than that. Okay, the primary bonus, the product information introduction bonus rather is the same. The only thing is they're going to introduce another package like we used to have the platinum package. They said there was a big gap between the advanced and the premium, so they're introducing another package, $975, and you're going to make $165 on that. Not too much to explain on that. This is an exciting one as well. The level earnings bonus. Now, I hope I'm understanding this correctly, and after Saturday, I hopefully will have a better understanding, but this is what I'm interpreting. And because I did have a sit down talk with Geraldo, who's our regional sales manager, and try to understand this stuff. So what this is saying is this: if you are let me see if I got my notes here, 1-star manager. If you are at least a 1-star manager, okay, yourself, tells you in here somewhere, you must be a 1-star manager. And then if you have a 1-star, if you're 1-star manager, 2-star manager, 3, all the way up, you get to get paid these different percentages on different levels. So if you're a one-star manager, all the people on your front line, whatever volume they have in business volume, as them and their entire team, you're going to get 5% on top of that, okay? The people that, if you're a two-star manager, you're going to get 7% of the people on your first level, and the people on your second level, you're going to get 2%. If you're three-star manager, you get another percentage on two levels, of 3% on the second level. If you're a one-star director, now you're going to get paid 3 levels deep. Two-star directors get paid 3 levels deep. And as you can see, the percentages increase on the second and third level. So it's, you know, this is exciting. That's a whole nother way of getting paid. Remember, we get 9 different ways of pay, and then they give these examples where this guy was a 3-star manager, which lets you know as a 3-star manager, he's going 7% on the first level and 3% on the second. So these people right here on his first level total up to 1,000, and he's getting 7% on them. And the people on the second level added up to 900, and he's getting 3% on them. So that's a total of 1,900 just in the level matching bonuses alone. Now the binary is a little bit different. Okay.
You said I can ask a question?
Sure.
Okay. What surprises me is that even without a rank, just an active brand partner gets 3%. Does that mean that the income is limited to
a person who's active? And it says here, if they have a minimum of 55 PV, earnings are determined by your weekly paid rank performance. So if you are a active brand partner, and let me see if I read it, eligible to, and the number of levels eligible to earn increasing as you progress in rank. To qualify, you must be active during the commission week, have a minimum of 55 points. So if you have 55 points, you do get paid 3% on your first level. But one-star manager is not even that hard because that is 750 points. So just to give you an example, if your total group volume was 750, then you can get paid 5% on your first level. So in other words, this bonus, there's an incentive to keep climbing up ranks. That's the reason they got these increments, because they want to encourage people to reach higher ranks.
Well, it also looks like to me that they encourage people to stay active, because this as an active brand partner doesn't even, you don't even have to, you don't have to have any, it doesn't look like you have to even be binary qualified.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's the same level earnings bonus. Yep. That's true. Yeah. Thanks for pointing that out, because I wasn't thinking about that, but I think you have to be, if I'm not mistaken, well, I guess you do. You're right. I don't think you even have to be a one-star manager to even qualify. You just need to be 55. You just need to be active. So that's good to know. Okay. Now.
Hey, Vidita.
Yeah. Who's that?
It's Lester.
Oh, hey, Lester. I thought I recognized that voice.
Okay. Thank you. And I believe that was Juanita that made that point. Yeah, I agree with her. And thanks for pointing that out, because it states in the little paragraph above, it says have a minimum of 55 points in the rolling 30-day period. So that would qualify that person as active to be able to receive the 3%. So if they've enrolled someone on their first level, yes, they would receive the 3%.
Even if the person is on second level, they won't get paid on that person.
They won't receive it, right? Yeah. Exactly.
But another thing I forgot to point out is this, you guys. If you got somebody, let's just give an example. Let's say you're a 3-star manager, and then you got some people on your first level, you got some people on your second level, but one of those people on your second level is not active, meaning they don't even have 55 points. The person that's on your third level will compress and roll up to you. So now you have a chance of matching somebody that's on your third level, but you're getting paid on them they move up to the second level because the person above them was not active. The same thing with all these. So you might have people on your 4th and 5th level who are not active, and it'll let people roll up to you. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, binary commission. This one is a little different because you have to be a 3-star manager to qualify for that. And I believe a 3-star manager is 2,500 points. Okay, so I'm gonna just go back to it so you can see so you see for yourself. I think it's right here. So a 3-star manager, it tells you right here that this is your qualifying volume, 2,500 in volume. Okay, so if you're a 3-star manager, and then we talk about the binary bonuses, you're gonna get 5%, and it's all gonna be based on your weaker leg. The binary is an exciting way for you to earn commissions based on the sales volume generated within your binary tree. To qualify for this bonus, you must have a minimum pay rank of 3-star manager or higher during the commission week. Accumulate at least 300 BV in your binary pay leg. So yeah, the leg which is the weakest leg, is they call that the pay leg. That's what you're going to get paid the 5% on as a 3-star manager. And you must have at least 300 points there. If you're a 1-star director, you get 7%. So as you see, as you continue to climb up, this is an incentive to people to maintain certain ranks. Then your interest or your percentage is going to increase. By the time you get to 3-star director, everybody gets 10% from that point on. So it's not going to be the 330 on one side and 660 on the other anymore. It's going to be based on whatever's the weaker side and then your volume. I mean, your volume is going to determine your rank, okay? Okay, so let's see. Now, mentor matching bonus. Now, this one is pretty exciting because what it's going to do is you must be at least a 1-star director though. And 1-star director is not that hard to achieve. It's 5,000 points, okay? And once again, 2,500 on one side is the maximum that you can count towards a person who's directly to you. The most you can count is 2,500 points to be able to get to, 1-star director. And as a 1-star director, you'll get paid 5% on the first level of people's level 1 earnings and binary bonuses. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but the percentage match is calculated on level earnings and binary bonuses. The one we just talked about, plus the binary. And all of that together, you're going to get 5% of that of people on your first level. Whatever they earn in those 2 bonuses, you get 5% of that. If you're a 2-star director, you're going to get another level. It's going to go up in percentage, plus you're going to get paid on another generation. And this continues to increase based on your rank, and it goes all the way to 6 generations. But those last 6 levels, you got to be 1-star presidential to get any of that. And that's not easy to get to because the 1-star presidential now is 600,000. It's pretty hard to get to. But anyway, at least we're getting paid 6 levels, okay? And not only that, like for example, where you're a 1-star director, for each person that you have personally enrolled, whenever you get this bonus on that person, is going to be, you're going to get up to 5, excuse me. Excuse me. All right, I told you I might be coughing along the way. Up to $500 match on each individual, 1,000 on the 2-star director. And see, for example, there are some people, like I told you, like a Steve Merritt, for example. If he was, somebody you were getting a match on, I don't care how high you're up in the company, you're only going to make $6,250 as a match on him. With the new plan, you can make $20,000 on him. That's the max. But that's much bigger. That's triple the amount that you could have made as a, the current plan where they can only earn up to 25,000. The binary, you still are going to only be limited to earning 25,000 in the binary. That has not changed. But as far as the match, you're going to get 20%. If you're a 3-star presidential, there's a higher percentage you're going to earn. But if a person is a Steve Merritt, for example, you're going to earn 20,000 on him, not 6,250. I think. Like I said, I don't know everything, but I'm just trying to share what I do know. And, you know, like Lester, he'll be there this Saturday, and maybe some other people in Dallas on our team. I know some people are coming up from Houston. And so we probably can learn some things from them. Okay. So now the business launch bonus. This is something I really, really want to focus on, because this is the behavior that we should have all been, you know, adopting from the beginning. When a new person comes on board, we always talk about launching them as fast as possible. And some people are intimidated about launching pretty quickly because, you know, a lot of people look at it as selling. And what I'm going to go over something in a moment that what I really want to try to help everybody wrap their heads around is not so much selling or even launching, as you know, for lack of a better word, but to share and to be excited about what you are hearing. Even if you haven't had the testimony yourself, be excited enough about what you have been exposed to that you want to run and tell it to somebody as fast as possible. So let's just take an example here. Now, this bonus lasts for, you have a chance of earning up to $450. If this was you, if you just got started, within your first 9 weeks, you can earn up to $50 a week on this bonus, okay? And the person who enrolled you gets a 50% match. So if you earn $25 a week on this bonus, your sponsor going to get $12.50. If you earn 50, your sponsor going to make 25. So let's keep moving. So they've given an example here. Now, the very first week, let's say you got to 1-star manager, because only based on 1- and 2-star managers. Again, 1-star manager is a person who's accumulated 750 points. Let me tell you how easy that is, because now, as opposed to the current way the comp plan is, your personal volume does not count towards your rank, but now it's going to start counting towards your rank. So let's say that if you're in an advance, you can write this down. If you're in advance, you know that's 300 points, right? That's, I mean, if you're just getting started and you became in as an advance, you would have 300 business volume. Let's say you enrolled another advance, that's another 300. And let's say you enrolled a core, that's another 180. That's 780 points. And Star Manager only needing 750, you personally would, if this were you and you just did this, you came in as an advance, brought another advance and a core in, you only enrolled 2 people, and you're going to get a $25 bonus just for doing that. The person who enrolled you is going to get $12.50. Now, say you did that again the next week, so you still getting $12.50, I mean, as a match, and $25 in 1-star. This right here, this third week, something happened where, and I don't know how this can happen, because based on this example, it's anticipated that you have stayed active this whole 9 weeks, because how can you pick up later if you went inactive? The only way you could go inactive is if you cancel your membership out. So what I believe happened here is that one of the people you enrolled went inactive. So has anybody else, I know Lester's on here, Juanita's on, has anybody else heard anything different so far than this? Because I was not able to reach Geraldo. I reached out to him twice. But I'm assuming this 0 here means that the reason you're not going to get the $25 is because one of the people that you enrolled did not allow you to keep that 750 points. So therefore you did not get the bonus, and neither did your sponsor. The next week, you must have either enrolled another person to get you back to 1-star, okay? And then the next week you enroll enough people, or it may not even be you. It could be one of the people that you enrolled, maybe enroll somebody, and the total came up to 1,500 in volume. And when that comes up to 1,500 in volume, you are now a 2-star manager. So now instead of making $25 a week on the business launch bonus, you're gonna make 50. And your sponsor, as long as they're your rank or above, your sponsor is going to get that 50% match. It happened again this week, except your sponsor fell down. Your sponsor is no longer a 1-star manager because something happened. I'm not sure what happened, but they're not. Okay.
Perdita, let me ask you this. Are you sure this is like in week 3, that this whole chart is not about getting a new a brand partner each week versus just maintaining?
Because I believe it's maintaining. See where it says earned after maintaining or surpassing that rank for 4 additional weeks. And I'm not sure of any I'm only going by what I was told. I can't guarantee anything I'm saying is totally accurate because I'm gonna be on the training as well, and any questions that I have, I'm gonna make sure I get them answered. But I can only make assumptions now. Does anybody else have any theory about that? I'm not gonna get caught up too much on that because it's just like I said, I don't know. But just know that we got this bonus. And anytime you are 1 star, if this person comes in and maintains 1 star, see, like right here, they didn't maintain it, so they got 0. I don't even know how is it possible that you fall out of that qualification when you'd already got up to 2 star. But people may cancel out. You know what I mean? People may cancel after they may say, take me out of the system. Or by now, week 7, they didn't do their auto ships, something like that.
Yeah, Verdita, hi, Trina. I think in that week 3, that would maybe be a potential scenario where they're not enrolling, so they drop below the 750 for the 1 star.
Well, these people are still active.
Because
The people,
I mean,
the people you brought in week 1, you're still 1 star because they're active. Let me read it. Let me read it out. Okay, let's read it.
Wait a minute, but those points only count that week, right? If you
no, there's a 31-day rolling average. Let's read it. The business launch bonus rewards new brand partners and their enrollers during the first 9 weeks of a new brand partner's Lifeway journey, the join week plus a consecutive week. This bonus offers new brand partners $25 or $50 per week, depending on your rank, your paid rank, with the potential to earn up to $450 in the first 2 months. The business launch bonus is paid weekly to both you and the new brand partner when you meet your required paid rank qualification requirements in the commission week. The following chart, see, they're saying when you meet your required paid rank qualification requirements. So if you came in and you were a 1 star, the only way I could see you falling from 1 star is somebody when it canceled out.
yeah, I see what you're saying. So 4 weeks, you haven't had your 31 days to start roll until week 4. So in week 3, it would have to be someone in your downline.
Yeah, it'd have to be somebody that canceled out.
Yeah.
So they can't just pay you. They got to put different scenarios on here to eliminate all these certain kind of questions. They'll say, if you didn't go act, and I do recall asking Geraldo this question. I said, what happened right here? And I just was very casual about it. I said, does that mean somebody went inactive? And he said, yep, like that. And we just went on. I didn't dwell on it. But all I'm trying to point out here is this is another way we can get paid. So try to keep the people active and try to encourage them to make 450, so that they'll be happy. And then you make the 225. In other words, this is just another way to get paid. Okay, so the next bonus, a lot of y'all gonna be really excited about this one because some people are just not as, they may not be here yet. 1-star director, you only have to have 5,000 points, total points, and 250 can only come from one leg. If you hit this bonus, and I don't think you're going to get paid this unless you hit it after the new comp plan enhancements comes out, but you're going to get a $500 bonus. Now, they're going to give you a whole year to maintain that rank, but you have to maintain it 4 times out of the whole 52 weeks. So they're going to give you 250 up front, and they're going to give you a whole year to get it 4 more additional weeks. And then you're going to get the other 250 as soon as you maintain it for 4 weeks. They do not have to be consecutive weeks either. When you get to 1-star executive, that is, I believe that's 10,000. Let me just go back. I'm sorry. I should have written that down. 1-star executive is, okay, 1-star executive is 40,000. They only do it at the 1-star level. So 5,000 points as 1-star director and 40,000 as 1-star executive. So let me go on down back here. And these are the breakthrough bonuses. We've never had this one before. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay. Okay. So the break is a 1-star executive, you get $5,000, 2,500 up front, 2,500 when you maintain it for 4 weeks. 1-star presidential, remember, you got to have 600,000 points to even get there. You're going to get a $50,000 bonus, and the same rules apply. 2-star presidential, 75,000. 3-star presidential, 100,000. So there are a lot of people that are generating all this volume, but they do have to pass that, 50% rule and all that kind of stuff. But they are doing it. And so to know that the company will pay these types of bonuses out is amazing. And then of course they have the leadership pool. And there's, I'm not going to read that, but you got to maintain certain amount of volume and everything. That's all the glossary at the end tells you what each thing means. What is the definition of all these different things? So is there any more questions about that before we move on? Because like I said, they're going to cover it. So, because what I want you to do, I want you to, let me go back to the Power 6, to the presentation. I want everybody to, it's some things that I want to go over a process. Remember, I was talking about how I feel like we should do this so that people will want to move fast. First of all, if you get somebody new in, first of all, they need to establish their vision. You have to establish your vision to provide a clear sense of purpose and a larger picture of your business. If you come in and you're not really focused, you don't have any motivation whatsoever, you don't have nothing, no purpose about what you're doing. There are people that say, for example, Bishop Jackson, this man made it very clear. He feels that, excuse me, God has mandated him to provide prayer centers all over the country. And that's going to take money. Now that's going to take a lot of money, right? But he said that's his vision, not to be wealthy or none of that's his vision. But I don't know if, some people have other visions. Maybe it's to retire their spouse or whatever it is. But if you know what your purpose is, you're going to have a larger picture for your business. And then, so the process after you decide why you're doing this, because that's all this means right here, why. Then you want to launch your business. We want to utilize 3 ways: launch calls, parties, events, and maintain the launch process for 90 days. So, we implemented a 90-day plan a few weeks ago, but, I think that we always talking about launch calls, but, what I really recognize is this, when people are excited, what's the quickest way for them to expose it to somebody else? To pick up the phone and say, hey, Mom, you're not going to believe this. I just heard about this lady. So in other words, you're excited about some kind of testimony. And then you have your sponsor right there, not sitting beside you necessarily, but ready to be available if you wanted to share this with your mom. And you say, my mom has been, I just heard about this man that had 3 strokes and now, tell the whole story. And then you say, listen, I want to make sure I get this right. So if you hold on, I'm going to put this other person on the phone. So now your sponsor can help you encourage your mom to try the patch. I'm not saying that every single person that you call is going to sign up. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying utilize everything. Utilize the 3 ways, the launch calls. Don't just, and so now let's say that your mom doesn't just sign up based on that conversation. Let's say, hey, Mom, listen, I'm going to be having a call tomorrow, and Juanita Craft is going to be presenting, and she's very knowledgeable about this. And so I really want to make sure you get it, Mama. Can you be on that call tomorrow at 6 o'clock? Matter of fact, I'm gonna come to your house and make sure you get on it. That's what I'm saying. Just hold their hand, and some of the people that you call right away, direct them to the launch call. Because see, the normal process we do a launch call is we'll say, make a list, and that's good and fine. You still want to do that. Make a list, tell these people, listen, I've got something phenomenal you need to hear about. It has to do with stem cell technology, but I thought about you and I really care about you. Can you be on this call? Because this is important. So that's the kind of conversation you can have to get somebody on a launch call the next day or 2 days later. But in addition to that, utilize the 3 ways, okay? Because everybody, just when you say get on a launch call, and even though you're being emphatic about it, may not get on there, you may want to call some people. I'm just trying to say that in order for us to take advantage of this business launch bonus, you're going to need to get some points in there the first week. And if it were me, I'd want to get 1,500 because I want to get the $50 every week. You see, so we're not going to be able to do this if we slow down. So let's just be real natural with the way we're launching the business. Just be excited. We all know that the most exciting time in your business is when you first get started. So why not launch it when you first get started? So this is how I feel that we can take advantage of this business launch bonus. We cannot let somebody wait till next week or the next week, because even though they get on the call, you know, they don't always sign up right then and there. So the process is to establish your vision, launch your business, and those people that come on board with you, identify those motivated people and duplicate the launch process, maintain accountability throughout your organization. In other words, if you're talking to people that you've enrolled and excited and keeping them excited, you want them to also be accountable to the people they enroll, because this is what creates the unity. This is what creates the alignment that we were talking about earlier. So here's some action items, you guys. Register for this training this Saturday. If you should have gotten an email labeled virtual registration now open for Super Saturday. I originally thought this was only for directors, but now I understand that the event itself was only open to directors that register, but it's open to everybody. But you need to find that email title. I mean, I've talked to so many people that haven't even seen the email, but yet they search it and they find it. Go to virtual, search on virtual registration. You should see that and register. You have to register to get the link. Start making it a standard to launch new business partners right away to master the business launch bonus. In other words, we haven't even got to the new comp plan yet, but you are bringing people in. So go ahead and practice. Make it a standard to launch them right away, and therefore you can master when that new plan comes out, you will have mastered this. See, the people that start now, they don't have 9 weeks. Once the comp, they don't have any more weeks left, more than likely. So you want to still go ahead and start making this a standard. So when they bring people on board, they'll already know what to do. Okay. And then also you want to start helping BP's business partners position themselves to at least the 1-star manager level. And that's going to allow them to participate in the level of earnings bonus, which I just got through finding out that we could get 3%. And I mean, I don't know how I overlooked that, but 3%, even if they're not a 1-star manager, but I still would want to encourage people. 1 star is only 750 points. Help them get 2 or 3 people on their team, so at least they get a 5% match, okay? But 3% is available to them if they're at least active. So another thing, keep them active, like Juanita said. Position yourself and encourage other team members to qualify as a 3-star manager. That's 2,500 points in order to participate in the binary commissions. You're not going to be able to participate in the binary commissions unless you are a 3-star manager. So that's something, if you're in the business right now and you have not accumulated 2,500 points, try to get there so that you will be able to participate in the binary commissions when the 2.0 comes out. Position yourself and encourage other team members to qualify as a 1-star director. That's 5,000 points, so that you can participate in the mentor matching bonuses. Many of you are already at 5,000, but make sure that 2,500 of it is not, let's say one person is 4,000 points, taking up your rank at 5,000. That's not, you're not going to be a 1-star director, because you can only count half of that towards your rank. So that's why you want to study this information, so that when the new comp plan comes out, you don't miss out on any money. You guys, you're going to be disappointed if, like that, you know, right now the binary, a lot of us are taking advantage of a lot of volume on the pay leg. I just need to let you know it's not going to be the same. So position yourself as a 1-star director so you can take advantage of this mentorship matching bonus, because that makes up for what you might not receive in the binary. Okay. I'm just trying to point out the binary is not going to be the same. So take advantage of these other ways that they have come up to enhance what we're making. Optimize the preferred customer program. Remember, I talked about how you can make another up to 20% on the volume that you're getting from customers, that's huge. Can you imagine 20 customers and now you're making $708 per month on those customers? That's going to be huge. I think, so last thing I just want to point out, and we can, because I always open the floor up for questions and answers. We're going to be in Greensboro. Harvey and I are going to be in Greensboro, North Carolina on Monday. Some of these people on the call, I know Erica McQueen has a downline there, as well as Lester Berry has some people there that are under Harry's leg. And that's what drove us to go there, because they're very, very excited and doing some things. But here's the flyer. It's also posted on Digital Alliance. So Monday, and then Tuesday we'll be in Charlotte at Bishop Jackson's church. We've got his downline, Gwen Millsaps, Juanita Kraft's leg is there. And there's some other people that are in other organizations that are there. So, and then later on this month, we'll be in Richmond, Virginia, where all the Richmond brand partners under Bishop Jackson, most of them, and I think Lee Malloy has a downline in Virginia. They're going to be coming out as well. There's some other people under Ken Robinson's leg that are going to be there. So all this stuff is posted on Digital Alliance. But if you have people in any of those cities, we'll be, we're going to be definitely there to help close them and talk to them and having a great time. Does anybody want to make any comments or ask any questions about what we talked about tonight? I love to hear from the leaders. I love to hear from anybody, anything you would like to say. I want y'all to be excited about this comp plan. You guys, please be excited, because if, don't feel like you got to know everything. Okay.
Rudita,
Go ahead.
Rudita, how you doing? David Boone. Just trying to find out, is there a place where we can look at the details of the comp plan yet?
Yeah. Did you get an email from corporate yesterday?
I did not.
You sure?
I'm sure. I'll go back and look.
Yeah, everybody should have gotten it. Everybody. Is there anybody on here that did not get it?
I got it yesterday.
Yeah, I'm asking, is there anybody else who did not get it? Because everybody should have gotten it.
Yeah, I think I got it.
Yeah, look for it was yesterday, because yesterday was Tuesday. Go back and search for your emails, or even look in your spam or something.
Okay, I will.
If you didn't get it, call corporate and the customer service will email it straight to you. But make sure you get it.
Okay.
David, to be honest with you, if you give me I don't know if you got my number or not, but if you give me your email address, I'll forward it to you. What's your email address?
It's David Boone, BOONE 1 at me.com, me.com.
Okay, I'll go ahead and forward it to you when we get off this, but I believe you would have gotten it.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? It was somebody, was Alan about to say something?
Yeah, is that the email with the young lady speaking and explaining everything?
Yeah, that's Meredith, our president. Yeah, she's
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, so that should be on there. All right, I got it. Thank you.
And if you can be on a call Saturday, make sure, did you see the virtual option to register?
That's what I didn't think I saw. That's what I'm gonna go back and look.
I want you to search for the word virtual, and
I'll
if you
look
search, it should pop up, and then you'll get a link
Okay.
as a result of
Yeah.
registering.
As soon as we get off the call, I'll do that. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else got a question? Thank you so very much. Who's that? Stephen Hayes. Stephen Hayes. Stephen.
Hi, Verdita. Did they put a date on this of when this plan will start? I know you said in a couple of months. I think I heard you say that.
Excuse me, I had to cough. Oh my God. They didn't give an exact date. I think, one second, I gotta drink some water, please. They said, and I'm gonna stop the recording. I'm gonna stop the recording.